The word gender comes from the Proto-Indo-European root gen, meaning give birth or beget. This root was used in the Latin genus and the Old French gendre, both meaning kind. Gender, therefore, could be defined as the role something takes in begetting or producing. The two roles something can play in production are the masculine role and the feminine role. Each of these are needed for production to take place. The masculine role could be described as giving, directing, static, or forcing, while the feminine role could be described as receiving, generating, dynamic, or bearing. The dynamic between these is most obvious in the gendered relationship we all are ourselves the product of. Sexual union between a man and a woman. The man gives the woman his seed, then remains the same as the woman contains and generates their offspring, all the while undergoing the dynamic process of childbearing. Homosexual relationships can be used to show a non-productive dynamic. While these relationships may be generative in other ways, two sets of masculine or feminine reproductive organs cannot produce offspring. A non-sexual example of gender can be found in conversation. When two people are engaged in dialogue, we once again see two roles, speaking and listening. The speaker is masculine, while the listener is feminine, giving and receiving words. For a conversation to be productive or fruitful, it needs a right balance between speaking, masculinity, and listening, femininity. If the participants are constantly attempting to speak over each other, or if neither participant is willing to speak up, the conversation will not produce fruit. The gender of the conversation is not conducive to production. In many cases, the gendered roles and produce of any given interaction are easy to see, but this is not always the case. When observing complex interactions between complex entities, determining gender may be more difficult. Subjectivity also comes into play when deciding which objects and interactions to take into account. Complex though it may be, where there is relationship between two things, gender is always at play. Everything is gendered.